all those thoughts come to your mind. It's going to be terrible. I'm probably going to die. Normally when you're thinking stuff like that, you wake up, it's a bad dream, and you're fine.
Grant Bolt wasn't dreaming. His day started off with adventure. It ended near death at the bottom of a mine shaft.
My parents have some land up in the northern Black Hills. We had used this mine shaft to throw some old trees in and stuff, and it had always just kind of been around, so curiosity kind of got the best of us.
Grant and his buddies rigged tow straps to the front bumper of a truck. They used the truck to lower them into the 130-foot deep shaft. On Grant's way out, the rope suddenly got slack. His brother Lyndon was driving the truck.
And when the rope came off, I saw it fly up into the kind of above the windshield, and that's when I realized that the rope had snapped.
The rope flew past his friend Josh standing at the top.
I remember looking at him and thinking, if you don't do something right now, I'm going to fall and I'm going to die. And I remember him looking back at me and just kind of shrugging his shoulders and kind of saying goodbye, like he was like, there's nothing I can do.
Grant began to free fall down the remaining 120 feet of the shaft, the height of a 9-story building. Someone ran to get Grant's dad, Greg.
Now, my first reaction was I almost started to panic. I thought, man, you cannot fall down in that and not get really, really hurt really bad, because it was so deep and so jagged with rocks.
Grant took a few hard hits on the way down.
Just came to a sudden stop, and I remember opening my eyes and looking around, and for a split second I thought I was dead. I didn't have any pain. I remember starting to feel my body, you know, started with my shoulders and my arms to see if there was broken bones.
He realized his knee was severely injured.
I remember yelling at the top of my lungs that I was alive, and I couldn't hear back. It was so far. And I yelled it a couple more times, and finally, after 2 or 3 times of yelling that I was alive, I heard a response.
I have all these terrible thoughts, you know, he's going to be in a wheelchair the rest of his life, and he's alive, but how long is he going to live?
The guys reharnessed Grant's rope and pulled him up. It was a slow process as Grant braced his knee with his good leg.
That was just a traumatic experience pulling him out of there. When he kept saying, Dad, I can't fall again.
And then right as I got to the top, they all grabbed me and pulled me out, and I laid on the side of the bank there and just regrouped and was so thankful to be out of that mine, you know, and be alive.
They rushed Grant to the hospital an hour away.
They started to work on him, and then the doctor asked him what happened to him, and he told him, he says, you are kidding me. And he says, we got to stop right now. We'll stop this bleeding. And he says, then we've got to x-ray your whole body. If you fell that far, he says, you could be hurt everywhere else. So from there, you know, they x-rayed him, and the doctor's going, yes, this is unbelievable that you're in one piece having fallen that far.
Marilyn, Grant's mom, thanked God when she heard her son was safe.
I felt like I was going to faint. I was sure that, you know, I just could not believe that I had a son there that only had a broken leg and was able to get out of a pickup. And he had just fallen 130 feet, and I'd see the hospital. And I'd look at it, and I'd see he was on 8th floor, and I'd look up that 8th floor and think he fell that far. And I am going to visit him in the hospital, and I should be planning his funeral today. And God, why have you blessed me? Why? I didn't understand.
What a tremendous miracle this was, to have our son live through this impossible fall and not have anything more than that happen to him. We just praise God that he spared his life.
Fell 100+ feet, and he's not dead, and he's talking to us, and it was just pure grace of God.
Amazingly, Grant had only a shattered knee and bruises after the fall. With surgery and time, his knee movement was restored 100%.
What could have happened, I'm sure the possibilities are endless. I'm sure I could be in a wheelchair right now. I mean, obviously I could be dead. Things that you would take for granted, you know, I am thankful to God, you know, that being able to do things with my wife that I might not have been able to do. I have a sense that God is with us. God is with me after going through this. I'm alive. You know, I've been given a second chance at life that I shouldn't have been given, and it opens your eyes